we've all experienced this at some point in our lives. We watch our favorite program, whether it would be on ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox, whatever. Then all of a sudden, a bulletin appears on the screen. We interrupt this program for the special report. Well, I've got a special report for all of you. Today, we live in a world that's full of despair, divide, and destruction. Now, you might be thinking, well, that's nothing new. This world always has had its problems. Well, that may be true. But the main issue is, how many people know the gravity and the severity of the problems in our world and in our society in this 21st century? We're in 2019 right now, and it's amazing to see how fast that this decade has gone by. And I can remember when it was the end of 2008 and we were going into 2009. I was still a freshman in high school, still learning the nuances of teenage life. Barack Obama was recently elected, and we were reeling from the recession that occurred toward the end of the Bush administration and into the beginning of the Obama administration. Oh, the countless number of times that I've heard the slogan, "Yes, we can." And I felt that 2008 marked a pivotal point in our transition into the current digital age that we are in right now. I was 14 in 2008 to be exact. Teenagehood, as you know, is often a rough period in our lives as we transition away from childhood into adulthood. So it was interesting to see how my 4 years of high school from 2008 to 2012 also seemed to coincide with the setup of today's digital lifestyle, where smartphones and social media are the norm for the average person. But at the time of my freshman year, YouTube was only 3 years old, and two little-known websites at the time, known as Facebook and Twitter, were beginning to rise into prominence. And the iPhone was still fairly young, and no one knew of an iPad or a tablet just yet. iPods were still a massive hit, as well as Blackberries, and yes, flip phones to some degree. But 10 years later, we have so many versions of smartphones with so many companies in competition. Spotify and Pandora are two giants in streaming music. Netflix, Apple TV, Amazon Fire, Sling TV, they're among the big companies that are providing on-demand streaming. YouTube, Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, and Twitter are everywhere, with almost everyone having at least one of the networks that I named above. And virtual reality and artificial intelligence are rapidly on the rise as well. The scariest things in the world for me are the ones that shouldn't be scary at all. We all know that terrorism and natural disasters such as volcanic eruptions, they're scary by default. But I shouldn't have to fear the technology, the devices, and the softwares that's supposed to enhance our lives. But let's face it, you can all agree that everything is evolving too fast and too soon for us to comprehend very quickly. And what we have at our disposal now is going to be archaic next year. If you don't know what the word archaic means, it basically means ancient, old, out of date. There's so much information overload because of the fact that we now have access to everything at the tip of our fingers. Are you being asked a question that you don't know the answer to? Oh, you don't need to learn it. You just need to Google it from your current spot. Are you bored? Let's just take selfies, pretend I'm Picasso, slap an artsy filter, and post them on Instagram and Snapchat. Or better yet, maybe I'll go ahead and pick on a poor, unsuspecting stranger going through a tough breakup and live tweeting everything that is happening so that I can get my 15 minutes of fame at the expense of someone else. Oh, I am so totally disregarding the fact that the poor stranger may have had no choice but to deal with it spontaneously on the spot. But as long as I get those likes, I could care less about that poor person who is going to be the butt of many jokes for the weeks to come. but it's my life, and no one can tell me what to do. Artificial intelligence, another digital feature that's on the rise. It's going to advance quicker and quicker to where I can see by 2020 there's going to be the beginning of an epidemic of what I'm going to call intelligent masking. It's basically when an artificial face is created and put on as a profile picture across all social media platforms to conceal the real identity of people behind the profile. Now keep in mind, it's not, I repeat, not the same as getting a picture from Google or putting a drawing in place. These faces are created by AI and are made to look crystal clear, as if taken from a digital camera, but in fact are all made up. None of those people in the picture exist. And there's an article below that I will post in the description. Read it thoroughly and you'll see how fascinating and scary that this is going to be a reality. And I can only hope that I'm actually wrong on that, and it's just something else that's hyped up to generate fear and excitement, and maybe 5 years from now will be replaced by something else. I could go on and on and on, but I hope I got my point across. We're in a weird time, and it's been that way for several years now. And I realize that what I've probably said is off-putting for many people, especially on New Year's, but it is a new year. And every year you promise yourself that you are going to make a positive change for yourself. The message is to not tell you to stop using technology or your smartphone or to boycott technology in general. The reality is that technology is wonderful to have when we're responsible and aware of its implications. I understand that the pace that technology has progressed is much faster than we can adapt to. But if we take a step back and hit the pause button to sort of reconfigure ourselves, you'll see that the best way to handle living a productive, purposeful life is to treat smartphones and especially social media like candy and sweets on the food pyramid. Use sparingly. Explore the world. Go outside and put your phone down and bring your head up. Help other people. If someone looks like they're going through a tough time, don't use it as leverage to make yourself a celebrity for your own selfish needs. Parents, young parents especially. I know you grew up most of your life already adapted to the digital lifestyle, but you also grew up in a time where people weren't on the computer or having a cell phone on themselves 24/7. You had parents or have parents and grandparents that hopefully taught you well and important moral life lessons. Your children are going to be exposed to many things that will shape them. Make sure that you are their number one influence. And that is my 2019 resolution can be summed up in one word: aware. Though 2018 for me was a great bounce back year from 2017, I had foolish moments where I wished I was more aware of the potential implications of my actions. But fortunately, with the help of wonderful people that I've surrounded myself with, I was able to find a silver lining in the midst of the not so hot moments of last year. And that helped me discover what my New Year's resolution would be. And so I extend this to you at home. Make this year the year of awareness. Because life is beautiful. Life is precious. Life is short. Life is lived in one act, one take. There is no take two. But in order to fully absorb everything that comes our way, we must not carry on with reckless abandonment. Thank you all for your continued support, and I hope you've had a wonderful holiday season. Happy New Year from GameboyTV.